Imagine this situation. You're sitting at home, looking out the window, watching life pass you by. The project you've dreamed of starting still exists only in your head. The call that could have changed your career was never made. The conversation that could have saved an important relationship never happened. Why? Because you were waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment. The moment when all the stars would align, all traffic lights would turn green, and some mystical voice would whisper, "Now." Now is the right time. How many more opportunities are you willing to miss? How many more years of your life will disappear while you wait for this mythical, perfect moment? I'm going to tell you a truth that you may not want to hear. The perfect moment doesn't exist. It's the most dangerous myth that paralyzes your actions and steals your life right from under your nose. I know what I'm talking about. 10 years ago, I had an opportunity to start my own business with someone I deeply respected. The conditions were good, but not perfect. I didn't have enough experience. The economic situation seemed unstable. I decided to wait for a more suitable moment. Do you know what happened? This person found another partner. They built a company that's worth millions today. And me? I was still waiting for my perfect moment that never came. It's time to destroy this myth once and for all. The perfect moment is a fiction created by our fear and insecurity. It's an illusion that keeps you in a comfortable zone of mediocrity. It whispers to you, "Wait a little longer. Tomorrow you'll be more ready." And so it goes, every day, until your life becomes an endless chain of tomorrows. Look at any successful person in history. Steve Jobs started Apple in a garage when he had neither money nor reputation. Oprah Winfrey began her career in an era when it was almost impossible for a black woman to break into television. Elon Musk invested his last money in Tesla when all experts predicted failure. None of them waited for the perfect moment. They created it through their actions. Science confirms the psychology of procrastination is based on self-deception. We create logically sounding excuses to mask our deep fear of failure. We tell ourselves, "I'll start when I finish one more course. I'll begin the project when I have more time. I'll talk to her when the mood is right." All of this is a lie you tell yourself to avoid discomfort and risk. Waiting for the perfect moment is like waiting for a train that will never arrive. You can stand on the platform your entire life looking at empty tracks while others are already well on their way to their goals. Now let's talk about the price you pay for this waiting. This price is terrifyingly high, and most don't realize its scale until it's too late. The average human lifespan is about 27,000 days. Subtract the days that have already passed in your life. Subtract about a third of the remaining days. This is the time you'll spend sleeping. From what's left, subtract more time for routine matters, hygiene, household chores, commuting, obligations. How much is left? How many days do you have left to realize all your dreams and goals? In reality, surprisingly few. And each day when you postpone important actions, waiting for the right moment is a day that will never return. Never. It's a day that could have brought you closer to your goal, but instead became another brick in the wall of regrets that you're building with your own hands. I've met people on their deathbeds. Do you know what they regret the most? Not the things they did and failed at. They regret what they never tried to do, the conversations that never happened, the risks they never took, the love they never expressed, the business they never started, the book they never wrote. All because they were waiting for the perfect moment that never came. Time is the blood of your life, and you're bleeding it with every second. With each heartbeat, a moment passes that you could have used, but instead wasted on waiting. Thomas Edison endured more than 10,000 failures before creating a working light bulb. Imagine if he had waited for the perfect moment for each experiment. We would still be reading by candlelight. J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter book as a single mother living on welfare. Imagine if she had decided to wait until her financial situation improved before starting to write. But let's dig deeper. What actually lies behind this endless waiting for the perfect moment? Fear. Naked, primitive fear. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of rejection, fear of discovering that you're not good enough. Your brain is an amazing self-defense mechanism. It prefers stability and safety to risk and uncertainty. Therefore, it creates the illusion of a future perfect moment to protect you from potential pain today. Not now, it says, wait until you're better prepared, when you have more information, when circumstances are more favorable. Sounds reasonable, doesn't it? That's exactly where the trap lies. Your fear disguises itself as rational thinking. I'll start my business when the economy stabilizes actually means I'm afraid to risk my money. I'll write a book when I have more time actually means I'm afraid my creativity will turn out to be mediocre. I'll talk to her when the moment is right actually means I'm afraid of being rejected. I challenge you right here and now. Name your fear. Say it out loud. Because fear, when called by its name, loses some of its power over you. Fear is the breeder of the chains you've shackled yourself with. It creates the illusion of rational reasons for inaction, and you willingly put on these chains thinking you're protecting yourself. But there is a way out, and it begins with a simple principle: action despite circumstances. Not when everything is perfect, but precisely when everything is far from perfect. Start now, not in an hour, not tomorrow, not on Monday, not after New Year's. Now, in this very moment, with what you have, where you are. Use the do the worst first strategy. Identify which aspect of your goal causes you the most fear or aversion, and start exactly with that. It's like jumping into cold water. The first shock is the strongest, but then it gets easier. If you're afraid to start your business, register it officially today. If you're postponing writing a book, write the most difficult chapter right now. If you're avoiding an important conversation, pick up the phone and schedule a meeting immediately. If the task seems too enormous, break it down into the smallest steps you can imagine. And take the first step today. Not tomorrow, not in an hour. Within the next 5 minutes after I finish speaking. One tiny step can destroy the illusion of the perfect moment once and for all. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx and a billionaire, started her business with $5,000 of her savings and without any experience in fashion or manufacturing. She simply noticed a problem and began to act. Not when everything was ready, but when she had just an idea and limited resources. Ask yourself, if not now, then when? Will you really be more ready in a month, in a year? Or is this just another excuse? Life is not a rehearsal, but a one-time performance. You don't have the opportunity to rehearse and then perform for real. This is the real performance, right now. And the audience consists of the people you love, your dreams, your legacy. To overcome the tyranny of the perfect moment, you need to reprogram your thinking. Your mind is accustomed to certain patterns that protect you from discomfort and change, but these same patterns keep you trapped in mediocrity. Use the 5-second rule developed by Mel Robbins. As soon as you have a thought about taking action, give yourself no more than 5 seconds to start moving. If you wait longer, your brain will generate an excuse why now is not the most appropriate time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Act. Reframe the concept of the perfect moment. The perfect moment is not when all conditions are ideal. The perfect moment is when you decide to act despite the imperfection of conditions. It's a moment of action, not a moment of circumstances. Every morning, before getting out of bed, make a decision. Today, I will not wait for the perfect moment for anything. I will act despite fear, despite doubts, despite unreadiness. Your brain is a battlefield, and you must win this war every day. The battle is not for perfectionism, but for progress. Not for perfect conditions, but for constant forward movement. Perfectionism is beautifully packaged fear. It's not a pursuit of quality, but a postponement of action under the pretext of not good enough. It's the most insidious form of procrastination because it masquerades as virtue. Remember, perfection is the enemy of action. It's better to do something imperfectly than to perfectly do nothing. The first version will always be imperfect, and that's normal. The first iPhone was primitive by today's standards. The first version of Facebook was limited only to Harvard students. The first book of almost any author is rarely their best work. Adopt the philosophy of act, adjust, continue. Take the first step, get feedback, make adjustments, take the next step, and so on. Each action will give you more information, experience, and confidence than all the thinking combined. Life is a draft in which there's no possibility to rewrite, but there is a possibility to continue writing. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start from where you are and change the ending. Here's what I want you to understand deeply. Every great achievement in human history began with an imperfect action at an imperfect moment. Every great leader, every innovator, every person who ever changed something started with an imperfect first step. And now I'm speaking personally to you. Yes, to you. I don't know what dream lives in your heart. I don't know what project you're postponing. I don't know what conversation you're afraid to start. But I know one thing: what you're waiting for will never come. The perfect moment is a myth. It won't come tomorrow, or in a month, or in a year. It doesn't exist in the external world. It exists only in your decision to act. It's your decision that makes the moment perfect, not the other way around. Stand up right now. Pick up the phone and make the call you've been postponing. Open your computer and write the first page. Say the words you've been holding inside for too long. Submit the application. Register the domain. Sign up for the course. Confess your feelings. Make the first payment. Send the resume. Do something, anything, but do it right now, because the moment will never be more perfect than now. Because life is a series of moments, and each one is an opportunity. An opportunity that you can use or lose forever. I promise you, action creates new opportunities that you don't see while standing still. It's like walking in the dark with a flashlight. You only see a few steps ahead, but when you take those steps, the light illuminates a new path that was previously invisible. The only perfect moment is the one you create through your actions, and it's happening right now, not in an hour, not tomorrow, now. Act as if your life depends on it, because it does.